How you doing, everybody? Good morning. Good Sunday. May God bless you. Hope you woke up with the highest spirits. I just wanted to come live and let you know that I want to thank you for the bottom of my heart. You know, I'm getting to that threshold where you know how you need 500 subscribers. I'm almost there, and thanks to you and for showing me that love and liking my videos and subscribing to my channel. I really appreciate it. Um, and I just wanted to catch up and letting you know how I'm doing. Well, lately I've been in a place where maybe most of you have been, that are in this field. Um, like putting content on YouTube. Um, Sometimes I feel like I just want to give up and stop. I'm not gonna lie to you. You know, I go through days that I ask myself, what am I doing? What do I want to accomplish? When I first started this journey, right? Um, I started by telling you that, you know, I'm going to start and I'm going to finish. You know, um, I said to you that um, whatever I put my mind to, I'm going to try to achieve. You know, I started by saying that, me being overweight um, and losing all those pounds and helping people that are maybe in the same situation, right? Um, and sometimes, people don't say nothing, and it takes somebody else to speak out so they can be heard as well. You know, I used to go to the gym out, I'm still going, but when I first started, going to the gym, you know, um, the first few weeks, I felt like I was wasting my time. I wanted to stop. I seen how other people, was progressing and, you know, their physique was changing and they were looking better. And to me, I was like, I was stuck. I was like, I wasn't going nowhere. I wasn't seeing it, you know. But I stuck with it, until this day. God willing, God bless. And I stuck with it to the end, and it paid off. It paid off because I'm feeling better. I look better. Not to sound conceited, but that's just the way I feel. I have more motivation. I have more endurance. More energy. Um, but going back to the topic that I started off with, sometimes I feel like I want to give up, man. Like it's not paying off. I don't know what's going on. Sometimes my computer goes crazy and I don't know what to do. You know, you got to understand, I'm new to putting content on YouTube. So I don't know everything. You know, I've learned because I've gotten my knees hurt and I've gotten back up, and that's how I've been doing it since I started. Every time something goes wrong and I go through it and I fix it and I come out on the other side, I say to myself, okay, that's something that now I have on my resume. On my resume, I know what to do if I was to fall in that situation again, right? And this is how I've been doing, and this is what I've been, you know, striving with. It hasn't been easy. My path hasn't been easy, man. You know, I want to be able to, do other things. I want to be able to do, live content. I want to be able to do, um, what other kind creators like Devoy and, you know, um, other people that talking about social media. They're talking about what's going on, in the world today, with the politics, and these politicians getting murdered, and you know I want to be able to talk about all that, you know and to do that, it's got to be long form content. you know all I've been doing since I stopped doing long form content, I got into doing shorts, and I got stuck there, and I've been doing that for a while. So now I want to get back and do long form content, you know. But first, I have to get a lot of things in order, and hopefully everything comes out well. I just wanted to give you an update of how I was doing, letting you know that I'm doing fine. God bless. You know, um, I know it's not easy. You know, this journey has been amazing though. I have learned, you know, but this is how life is anyway. Whenever you want something, it's like a job. You got to climb certain steps. You got to, you know, get certain resumes or whatever it is that you have to get in order to get a better position, and get to where you want to be. And it's the same with everything, but you got to be consistent, and that's everything. If anything, that's what I'm doing. I'm being consistent. I'm trying to put, content out there, regardless of what it is. Something is something, right? For you that are starting new on YouTube, right? One advice that I have is try to learn everything before you even start. Because see, the mistake that I did was that, you know, I posted content and I started posting content, and I didn't really know the fields. I didn't know the rules. I didn't know the guidelines. I didn't know, I really didn't know what to do. I was just going with the punches, right? And, you know, in the long run, um, things start to happen and you won't know what to do. You'll stay stuck, and maybe you stop putting content on YouTube. And the algorithm, what it does is that if you don't post certain videos, it'll stop showing your videos. That's why you have to be consistent, because that's just how the algorithm works. Consistency, and you keep showing your videos. But other than that, you know, um, whatever it is that you feel that you're gonna do, and you're gonna create something, learn the basics. Learn. Learn everything you have to learn before you do it. So like that you don't make the mistake and stay stuck at the end. Anyway, God bless you. Take care. I'll be back with you. And once again I want to thank you for your love, for subscribing to my channel. And with God's blessing, I'll get to the 500 subscribers. But that's all depending on you. Thank you so much.